Hey everybody, so today I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about what the missionaries and I spoke about today. So they just left my house a little while ago and I felt really inspired to come and make a video. Every time they come we talk about something different. So today we talked all about temptations. So feeling tempted and feeling tested to do the very things that you're trying to stop doing. So in my journey, when I was quitting like daily excessive drinking, and I was quitting smoking, and I was quitting like doing coke regularly, like on weekends or whenever I would go out and drink. So when I was doing all of these things, I was making a lot of excuses for myself. So these excuses, that's how the devil communicates with you. So the devil communicates with you in thoughts. Like, the devil is not somebody that's like walking around like all red with horns. The devil is within you, and so is God. So it's up to you what voice you're gonna listen to. But anyways, when the devil was like leading my life, I had a lot of decisions where it's like I could have chosen, for example, like, you know, when I didn't want to like smoke nicotine anymore, let's say, you know, I would stop for a day or two, and then I would be like, well, you know, what's the big deal? It's not that bad. It's just nicotine. Like, I already quit everything else that I was doing, you know. So that was the devil trying to like keep me there. And prior to that, like, you know, for example, like when I was doing coke, just to give you another example, I would give myself the excuse that, you know, I'm in a social setting, I'm around people, and I'm not that social, I'm not that talkative. So, you know, if I do drugs, then you know, I'm gonna engage so much better with all these people. So that was the excuse that the devil put in my head at that point. And then when I would drink almost every day, I'd be like, well, I'm just having a drink, you know, I'm just drinking like a wine or two. Like, it's not like I'm getting shit-faced every day. So you know, it helps with my anxiety. It helps, you know, helps me feel a little better or whatever. Like, oh, I had a stressful day, whatever the excuse was. I was always giving excuses for all the bad behaviors that I was doing. And these excuses, you know, they seem minor at the time, like in the moment while you're making them, but then like when you start looking at your life as a whole, you realize that like it's just like bad excuse after excuse after excuse kind of just like leads you to like make all of these like bad decisions back to back. So when I surrendered myself to God, that I was like in my room and it was like 3 in the morning, and I remember I had just gotten home from like the latest night, and, you know, horrible decisions, whatever. I don't really want to get too into detail. But when I was at that point that I prayed to God for the first time, you know, it's like my thoughts started to change after that, my internal thoughts. So instead of like making as much excuses for myself, I would give myself an excuse to not do it. I'd be like, well, why am I gonna drink? It's Wednesday. Or, well, why, you know, Amanda, you said you weren't gonna buy another nicotine vape. Why are you gonna buy another one? You do this every single time. So my thoughts, like my good thoughts, started getting louder than my reasonings for doing the bad things. And you know, that was God. That's pretty much like God speaking into me, and I didn't realize that that's what it was until I had that dream that I told you guys about in a previous video. Actually, the plan that I had for my channel was to talk about like cosmic guidance, because a lot of what I did to heal after like I had that night where it got really bad, and I was like in my room and I was like crying and I was depressed, and I just like decided to pray to God for the first time, because I realized that everybody thought that I was happy and everybody saw somebody of me that was not. And honestly, when I started just like having that breakdown and turning to God after that, it's like I said earlier, it's not like I wasn't going to church every weekend or like, you know, like fully like church girl or none of that, but I was like I was doing meditations, and I was my mom found me a good therapist, like I told you guys. My mom tried to help me. So the point of this is that's how like when I asked God for help, God helped me through people and through my own internal thoughts. And I want to tell you guys a quote that the missionary told me today, because I was pointing that out, like how once you do so much better, like once you're doing better, and even like when your internal thoughts are getting better, like, you know, you start getting all these temptations and stuff. But before I get into that, like the missionary was telling me that it's interesting to point out how the devil and God, they both work through people, and it could be a little confusing at times, because I remember there were points where like I was doing drugs and I was like with the wrong people who I thought were like great people, because they were like going through all this trauma like I was, and we would like vent and like cry, and I was like, oh, you know, these are like good people. So I was just making excuses for myself at that point. And then like the devil was putting people in my path that didn't seem like they were bad people. Like sometimes you meet people that they're great people, but you know, their devil thoughts are kind of like leading them at that point, and it could get in the way of your self-improvement. And oh, anyways, my bad, I got distracted. So I wanted to tell you guys a quote that the missionary told me. He was like, you know, there was this guy that was drowning, and he's drowning, and there's somebody who comes and asks him, hey, like, do you need any help? Do you need a hand? And the guy's like, no, it's okay, God's gonna send angels and he's gonna help me, like God's got me. And then the guy's like, oh, okay. You know, time passes, the guy's like drowning even more, he's got less time left. The God sends somebody else to help him, and he's like, no, it's okay, I don't need help, you know, God's got me, God is gonna save me. So he rejected 2 people that came to help him in that span of time that he was drowning, and in the end the guy like died. And then he's like, God, what happened? Like, I thought you were gonna save me. And then God's like, well, what do you mean? I sent you 2 people, like I did try to save you. So sometimes, you know, God sends you people that are meant to like save you and are meant to help you, and you know, we either push them away or we just, you know, surrender and receive their help and receive their love. And that really is going to make a huge difference. So when it comes to temptation, like realizing the people in your life that God sends you to help you, and the people that the devil sends you to test you and to pretty much like throw you off course. So these are all tests. Don't give in. God has so many beautiful and big things planned for everybody, but we really just have to do our part first. So yeah, love you all. Bye.